Okay, to continue with the George Washington Middle School PTA schedule of trying to keep things as meat-worthy and as time-sensitive as possible. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna be, from now and going forward, focusing on what is important to parents now and something that they can use immediately. Before we go forward, the first thing that we have is the minutes from September 15th of 2025.
I have a motion to approve the minutes from September 18th. Is there a second?
A second.
Bridget seconds.
A third.
And Nicole.
Motion approved. The September minutes have been approved. The first thing that we're going to be going to before we get into everything is we're going to have a quick overview by our boss, Principal Benson, and she's just going to say a couple words and thinking about the school and state affairs.
All right, I'm gonna make this quick, but what I'm referring to is on Parent Square. So if you go to Parent Square, you should be able to access the parent newsletter for October. And we're just gonna go through just a few highlights from this. Now, we have the paper copies for those who are in person, but if you go on Parent Square, you'll be able to click any of the links that are there. So the first thing I want to just bring your attention to is the end of the quarter is coming fast and furious. October 31st is the end of the quarter. So we're looking for students to make sure that they are finalizing their work and submitting their assignments. So that when it comes to the end of the quarter, they are not, rushing to get that work in. So you can see the dates here, but we also do have our Aspire Academy, which is on now. And if your student needs support in math, they can come on Mondays and Wednesdays. And if they need support with reading or English language arts, they can come on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm always pitching a plug for the online tutoring. So ACPS offers 24/7 online tutoring, and you can find more information on the link that is on Parent Square. Let's say it is an activity that you cannot help your student with. They can access this online tutoring service and get support with a writing assignment. It could be a math assignment, a project, but the tutors are there and they are in many different languages that you can access that. All right, next I want to turn your attention to the Safe Walk. On Thursday, our entire school is going to be having our monthly fire drill. And then from there, we are walking to Jefferson Houston. Jefferson Houston is our reunification location. So if there were an emergency situation that happens at our school and we needed to not only evacuate, but go to a secondary location, it would be Jefferson Houston. And we know that just like a fire drill, we need to practice these things so that our students and our staff know where to go. So we are planning for that drill this week and we are going there on Thursday. So last year when we went, it was really cold. And so we learned from last year and we're going in October instead of November. However, I'm still asking that you talk to your students, make sure that they're wearing comfortable shoes, maybe a light jacket, just to be prepared for that walk. We go over there, we take attendance, make sure we have everyone, make sure the kids know the route, and then we come back. So we'll be on a 2-hour delay schedule so that we can do the drill and then come back and have classes for the rest of the day. The next thing that I would like to turn your attention to are the fall MAP growth reports. Those were sent by the district. We used to send paper, but now they have a digital document delivery system where they send you a specific code, and then you go and you access your student's MAP report. So please check your spam if you haven't seen it in your regular email, and see if you have gotten that code so that you can access your student's report. It does, I believe, expire after a certain amount of time. So if you don't see it, just let us know. And I put our testing coordinators information there for you, so you can email him and we can pull the reports for you at any time. October is Bullying Prevention Month, and we are having a Spirit Week among other activities for starting on the week of the 20th. And you can see the themes here. We're asking our students to wear orange on the 22nd in unity to promote bullying prevention. And so I'll be outside in the car line. I'm waving to families with my orange on. I would love to see you in orange as you are driving through or when you come and pick up your students. All right, one last thing, and I promise I'm done. Okay, we are having our fall festival. Every quarter, we have a day we celebrate our students for demonstrating Prexy Pride, and Pride stands for preparation, respect, integrity, dedication, and excellence. And so we celebrate. And so at the end of the quarter, we're on the 29th, we are having our fall festival. We need volunteers. I believe Mr. Malone, who leads us in this effort, has put a call out for volunteers. If you have any time during that day to come and be out on the field with us celebrating and watching kids have fun, making sure that they don't get hurt or hurt anybody, then we invite you to join us. All right. I'm going to stop there. There's lots of other things that are in this newsletter, like the 8th grade car wash. But please feel free to look through. It's on Parent Square. And if you're here with us tonight, you have a paper copy. All right. Are there any questions? Yes. So it's going to be, you're testing my bell schedule memory here. It's during all of the students' during their elective period. So for 8th grade, it's going to be first thing in the morning from about 9 to 10:45. And then for 7th grade, it's going to be about 11.
10:45 to, is it the second block? or-
Yes.
yeah,
10:45 to 12:15. And then for 6th grade, 1:45 to 3:15. So I probably should have put that in there. Maybe I'll do an update. I'll do an update. Nope, however much time you can. Yeah, not all day. It
And-
could be during any one of the blocks.
And
of time.
Kelly has made a note in the Zoom comments that there will be a volunteer link that'll be sent out for parents to volunteer.
Okay, I would trust that volunteer link
Mm.
more than every of the times. All right, that is it.
There is a question online of if a student is going to be out for medical, who do they contact about that? It would be the normal routes for,
Medical on the day of the safe walk?
let's see. I think that was having to do with the fall festival.
Oh, if it's-
Thursday morning. Sorry, this is for the safe walk.
okay, if you are out,
What time do they come to school since the kids will be in transition?
that's a good question. I would say around 10:30. If they can arrive at 10:30, they will be clear of the walk. We should be back on campus. Good question. Any more online questions? Okay, all right, thank you.
That was Principal Vincent giving a brief overview. Quick message also, a lot of the information that we have now and going forward, it's in the PTA's weekly town crier, along with links for getting help and assistance with the information. The next person that we're going to have come forward is Katie Patarini. She will be going over how to master Power School and Canvas in 3 minutes. Katie, come on up here.
Let's see, that's tall order.
Here we
I
go.
can certainly try. Hi.
Hi, and
Just face that way.
yeah.
Great. Hello, everyone. My name is Katie Patarini. I am one of the 2 technology integration specialists here at GW, and I came here today to talk with you about Power School, Canvas, and Securely, and then a plug for some digital citizenship, if I have time, but I think I will. So this is our Getting Connected. We as TIS all over the city are trying to do this, a similar presentation, just so everybody kind of has the same information. I don't know if it's an easy thing to do, but just kind of want to figure out where everybody is with Power School. So I'll start with Power School, maybe a thumbs up or in the chat, sort of you feel really comfortable with it, you feel okay with it, and you have no idea what Power School is, sort of a 3. Thumbs up, yes, I feel comfortable. Middle, okay. Thumbs down, and then in the chat, if you could just let us know.
We've got our
Yes.
Secretary Kelly's monitoring the chat.
Okay, awesome. Okay,
So let me know when you want the slides.
perfect. Yeah, let's go to the next
So
one.
far, we've got all thumbs up.
All thumbs
I'll
up on
send
that.
that. Okay, so I don't have to spend too much time on Power School. So I'll quickly just go through, if you ever have problems with a password or something like that, there is access. It's called Parent Power School Help or something like that, and you can email. But I think the most important thing I want to tell you about Power School, so I think it's probably 5 slides in on this one. The other one.
Oops, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, keep going. It's how to access Canvas. So I bet many of you get emails that say something was graded in Canvas, and then there's a link, and then you try and click the link and you can't access it. Yeah, right. I'm sure that's happened multiple times, and you think, oh, let's see, can you go back just one?
Mhm.
Yeah. And you think, I can't access it, I can't see it. And I am gonna apologize right now for that. It's the way Canvas works as an observer. You have an observer status. So basically you're watching what your student gets, but you can't access it the same way that they do. So when you get an email like that, the best thing to do is to go to PowerSchool on a browser. Unfortunately, it has to be on a browser. And you're gonna click right at the top where it says link to Canvas. And what that will do is that will sign you in as the observer with your credentials to Canvas so that you can then see Canvas the way that your student sees it. I wish the notifications didn't work like that, but that's just how they work. So when you get an email like that, the best thing to do is go open it up in a browser if you want to see it in Canvas. Yes, go ahead.
When you say on browser,
Yeah.
you mean on a desktop?
On a desktop, yeah. So, I mean, you can do it on your phone, but you can't do it from the Power School app.
Right.
Yeah.
I go through the Safari, not through the app.
Yes, yeah.
I still cannot see the links, like I can get to Canvas, but I cannot open the assignment.
You can't open the assignment. I don't think as an observer, well, maybe that might not. I think you can just get to the assignment and see what it says, but you can't
Right.
open it like your student can. Right, yeah. You can just kind of see what it is and see the directions and see the assignment, but you can't do it
On Canva,
Yeah.
on Canva you can, though, you can see what the student submitted.
in
and
Canvas.
the
Yes,
feedback
yeah.
from the-
And you can see feedback. Yep, yep, you can. So Safari might not be a good browser. Chrome might be better. Yeah,
I think I tried from the computer also, and I still get somewhere, but I cannot see everything.
yeah,
And maybe the observer, but.
yeah. If that happens, you can always email and we can take a look, because it might be the way that something's set up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can look at it. So you should be able to see. So that's the best way, that link to Canvas, that's how you get to Canvas as a parent to your observer accounts. So just think of the email as a notification. And I think then I can switch to Canvas now. Yep, there's how we get to Canvas. Before we do that, if you use the Power School app, it's a great way to keep track of your students' grades. As a parent myself, I would advise maybe just only let yourself check it like once a day. Because it can sort of be very anxiety building. And then maybe work out a time, like an agreement with your student about when you're going to talk about the grades. So like not texting in the middle of the day, "Turn it in today," you know, they can't have their phones anyway. I had a child I had to keep track of every day. So I know that, I know what it's like to check Power School on the app all the time. So Okay, then Canvas, how do we feel about Canvas? Thumbs up, middle? Okay, middle? Okay, excellent. So I'll just gonna give you a quick tour of what Canvas looks like. You should be able to see all the things that your student sees. And then just give you an idea of what should be happening on Canvas from the teacher perspective too. So all teachers are given this, the main platform, sorry, I forget that I'm, are given the main, this landing page that has the 6 buttons down below. The most important button down there, I think, is the weekly agenda, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this is the home page. You can see at the top of the home page is where teachers would have announcements. And then for a student, it's not here, but a student on the right side of the home page would have things that they have coming up, due dates and things like that. And they have a to-do list that I didn't take a good picture of that for you. But that's what would be over there. Then on the left-hand side, just another way to navigate Canvas, the announcements. Modules are going to have the weekly agendas. Assignments we're going to look at in a second. And then you can look at grades. Ms. Vincent was talking about online tutoring. They can access that from every course. And then Zoom is there, should we have inclement weather and we have to do school from home, teachers will say, go to Zoom from Canvas. That's what, so that's all there on Canvas. Then the weekly agenda, that's the go-to spot. It's a requirement here at GW that teachers keep up with this weekly agenda. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is you as a parent, ask your kid how your day was, what'd you do in school, and you get fine, right? Or nothing, right? I don't remember. What was your favorite time? Lunch, PE, right? So you know that that's how that happens. And so this is a great way for teachers to show you what we did in class today. You can see that many things are hyperlinked. So it could be a worksheet that they worked on. It could be a presentation that the teacher did. And the great thing is that you have access then to those, that you can look at them with your student. Then if there's homework, you can see that on the right-hand column. And ideally, those are linked to the Canvas assignments. Those are the actual Canvas assignments. If for whatever reason your child has a teacher that's not keeping up with this, please communicate with them and ask them about the weekly agenda, because all teachers here know that that's a requirement and that's just part of that's part of our culture. That's what we do here. Now, it might not be updated. Different teachers have different styles of updating. Some update at the end of the week, some update before, some update at the end of the day. So that's where you're going to find your most of the important stuff, like what's happening in class. Any questions about the weekly agenda from anybody? Yeah.
Okay, when is the weekly agenda posted? Is it on like Sunday?
Yeah. Well, ideally it's the week before, at least the day that the student is having the class, there's something on there. But it's always there. So you can always access the weekly agenda. It's published by the month. So you can go back and you can kind of see what they have for that week. That's the right answer, right? Okay. Okay, then assignments, you can see assignments here on the left-hand side for your student. They either see upcoming assignments or they see past assignments. Usually the assignments have a due date and when it's due, and it'll tell them maybe out of how many points that they had. And if they were scored, you can see the 10 out of 10 points there, the 15 out of 15. And then similarly over in the grades, you can see the assignment, and then you can see whether it's late, missing, or the score and what they got. And then on the far end of Canvas, sorry, on the far, you should be able to see sort of what the grade is like, but I will say that the official grade is the grade that's in PowerSchool. And teachers have their grades from Canvas sync over to PowerSchool, but the official grade, because sometimes percentages don't work out the same, they're very close, but the official grade is the one that's in PowerSchool. Assignments or announcements, you'll see them at the top. You'll see them, you'll get them in an email. Of course, you won't be able to click on them unless you go through Canvas, but you can sometimes see part of or the body of the announcement, and that comes up at the top of the student's dashboard. One thing I really like about Canvas is that there's a built-in calendar for students. If teachers put assignments in Canvas, which they are required to do, then they come up on the student's calendar. You can access the calendar, you can see it on the left-hand side, and then you can make sure that they check each class. They can color code each class, but it's a good way that you can also sync this to their Google Calendar, and I have directions for that if that's something that you want to work out with your student, but it can sync in both places so that they have, they practice those good habits of knowing what's coming up, knowing what they have, maybe what's past due, it's crossed out if they did it. But they have to turn on each teacher's calendar in order to be able to see it. Okay, and there was an advisory lesson about this probably in September. So teachers hopefully taught students how to use it. But again, I think it's a great way. Finally, in Canvas, if you do not like getting emails every single time that your child turns something in or that assignment is posted, once you get into Canvas from PowerSchool, can change your notifications. And you have the choices of immediately, daily, weekly, and you can turn the notifications off. As a parent, I liked, it depended. For the grades, I liked daily because then you could see when grades came in. Other things, I think I did more like a weekly summary. I don't think I ever did notify immediately. But then you can go back and be like, oh, I don't really like how that worked out. So the way that you get here is up in your account. Did I do that? Could you go back one? It's up in your account. So you can see on the left-hand side, if you click on account, then one of the options when you click on account says notifications, and you can set your notifications. So less emails if you don't like emails, or if you feel bombarded by emails, which I used to. All right, I think that's done with Canvas. Let me just stop and see if there are any questions about Canvas. Yes.
Way that you can see that the child has submitted or uploaded something, but it
Hasn't been graded.
not syncing.
Yeah.
I keep hearing from my students.
I turned it in.
Well, submitted it.
Yeah. Yes.
They didn't submit it, and then we submitted it while we were on.
Right there. Yeah.
Connect it to, a certain browser works better or.
So the question is, is there a way to see if a student has submitted an assignment? When you go to the assignment, it will say if it's been submitted or not. And then sometimes there's a lag in Canvas, so maybe refresh it, or kids like to keep every one of their tabs open. And so like if they keep it open and they submit it, they're not getting the refresh. They're not getting an updated. So you can check that with them. But it'll say submitted. And then in their grades, you can look in their grades and I can't remember exactly what it says, but there might be a little book. I know for teachers, there's a little book that gives them the indication that it has to be turned in. I think for the students, it'll just say submitted. So that's a great question. And one I'm sure all of us, I did turn it in. They just haven't graded it yet. So yes, another question? Yeah.
So I think what I heard you say is the only way to get the Canvas is through PowerSchool. Okay,
Yes.
so there's no
Yeah.
point, I think I had a Canvas app on my phone.
Yeah, sadly, ACPS doesn't support the Canvas app for parents. I don't think they support it for students either, but definitely not for parents. Yeah. Or you can look at it with your child, like you can go on their device with them and look at it with them, or, however you want, however comfortable you are with those. Any other questions, Canvas? We're okay there in chat? Okay, how much more time? I have? Maybe 5? Oh, yes, yeah.
To daily digest.
Uh-huh.
Can the teacher override that? What are some examples of emergencies? What are some examples of things that are not emergencies?
I think
Question.
the question was, can you override, if you have a daily digest, can you override a Canvas email? For Canvas, you don't do that. For Canvas, teachers can't override anything in Canvas. It would be an override in Parent Square. That's a totally different platform. And I think the only time we override things is for conferences. But I don't know if there was an emergency in parents, I don't know. I'm not, that's not my, that's not my tunnel.
Plus, couldn't
Yeah.
you as a parent always go in and just change your setting for that day? You can just go into the app and change your setting.
In Canvas or
Well,
Parent Square?
Power School.
Parent Square.
Yeah, Parent Square.
There's so many platforms. Yeah, you can change your settings anytime. Yes. Okay, securely. What do we know about securely at home? All right. Okay, so did you know you can monitor your students' online activity at home with securely?
When I try to
Yeah.
send out an email,
Yeah.
email notification, it looks like they're offering me to buy something.
Okay, all right.
They're gonna show me
Okay.
if I pay.
There's a link and I can send a follow-up with some links and some help for each one of these. But the way that you securely home is for you to, be able to monitor your students' browsing history at home. You cannot browse, you can't see what they do at school. Teachers take care of that at school. But at home, you can also turn off their internet access at a certain time. So you can go to securely. The login is tied to the email that you have in PowerSchool. So if that's not correct, you can always let us know and we can change that for you. But when you go to Securely Home, you give them your email, they'll send you a code, you log in, that should be how it works. And then you can see there's a bunch of different notifications. The Securely Help support is fantastic. In fact, when parents ask for help for us from Securely, I almost always say they support you right away. That's just like a tech support. You can get support from them 24/7. So, yeah. And with that, one thing I want to, this would be that you get the Securely app. So yeah, you can see an activity feed. They securely flags activity. So if it's at home, they'll let you know that something unsafe is happening. Here, they let us know that something unsafe is happening. You can, like I said, the offline schedule, you can limit access to their device. So then that's not an issue. You don't have to turn your Wi-Fi off in your house so that nobody can use it. And then there's some rules, you can set the rules. And finally, I make a plug because Digital Citizenship Week is coming next week. And we sent something out, I think it's today, maybe, yeah. But I will send this out also, is to create a family tech planner at home, maybe a digital learning agreement at home where you have a conversation about what expectations are about using internet at home. So I think if you go to the next, so you just kind of talk about the devices that you have. I have a PDF, so you can fill this in if you want online, but also I have some copies I'll bring. And then just you have a conversation about expectations that you have at home. And so you come up with an agreement and then you can hold each other to that agreement. So I highly suggest, I never did this as a parent. I should have, but I never did. And I wish I had, because it's hard to back up after certain things happen. So and that's all I have for you. I thank you for being active and engaged parents. It really helps when you're involved and you're partners with your teachers. And please let me know if there are other questions that come up that you might have. Thanks. Thank you.
All right, parents and guardians, that was Katie Patarini. She was going over Canvas and Power School. If you have questions, you can shoot it to the PTA and we'll try and get them answered for you. And I think, Katie, you're going to send us a link.
I'll send you
Yeah.
like a follow-up.
Thank you. Yeah. So, and Katie's going to send some follow-up link too, so to make it a little bit easier. The next person we have coming up is Stacy Palmer. She will be going over advanced academic services at George Washington Middle School. And Stacy, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. My name is Stacy Palmer. I'll wait for slides. While we're waiting, just a shout out that picture retake day is this Friday, right? So I know that's a big thing, so. You can go to the next. And then the next one. So this is my 25th year here at GW. I started out as a US history teacher, have taught all 3 grades at some point in my career, and then transitioned into the middle school AAS lead roles. I have 2 big roles. One is the screening lead. We are currently in the screening process, which will be the next couple slides. And my role in that is to gather data, answer questions from parents, make sure all the paperwork for the screening is done, and then go throughout that timeline, have a committee meeting, and then report to central office. As a support teacher, I support teachers in creating their differentiated education plans, which we'll talk about in just a minute. I'm a little different than the elementary service, which is pull out for math and language arts. We are pushing at the middle school and secondary levels. And, I also make sure that students, AAS identified students, are with other AAS identified students in their open enrollment honors classes. They may not be like for social studies, for example, if there's not enough AAS identified social studies students in a class, then I make sure that they're in a class with AAS language arts identified students in that setting, so they're not by themselves, and to help teachers create small groups.
Can you explain that a little bit more, like what that means, or how you know if your child is in that type of class?
So
Mhm.
this will kind of go into screening. If your student was identified at the elementary school,
Mhm.
that identification sticks with them throughout their career in ACPS.
Okay.
So this is more for teachers when it comes to the variety of ways they can group their students in their classroom.
So is there something that the teachers know that they're AAS?
Yes, I send out that communication at the start of the school year so that they know who their AAS identified students are. And to how to get a hold of me. The DEP, the purpose of the document is to communicate how your child's academic needs will be met throughout differentiation strategies. This will be posted on your teacher's Canvas page. Mrs. Patarini has done a great job at giving the teachers directions on how to do that. And for the first quarter DEP, that's not due until the end of the quarter because our focus is on building culturally responsive classrooms, getting to know students' interests, just establishing norms, making sure everyone's welcomed. And therefore, after the DEPs will be posted a work week after the start of the quarter. Teachers also have the flexibility if they want to combine DEPs for like second or third quarter or third or fourth quarter, they have that flexibility as well. These little slips of paper were passed out at back to school night. If you did not get one, I'll make sure you get one today. And then for those of you who are at home, it's here as well. But this is the back to school night presentation with information on it, especially about screening, since that is the season we're in right now. My email address is there. The referral deadline is the 21st of November. And before we go to the next slide, which has the directions, please note that the ACPS AAS website, which I linked there, that has a plethora of information. Pretty much everything that I'm presenting to you tonight, I have pulled from that website. So that has a lot of information, a wealth of knowledge. Even if you need a link, email me and I can email you the link directly. And this is a QR code. I'm just trying a different way to reach parents so that you can look at it on your time because I know we're all busy. So how to submit a referral. So following Mrs. Patarini with PowerSchool, if you log into PowerSchool, pick the child that you want to refer. And then if you click on forms, you're looking for the 2025-2026 referral form and permission to screen. So this year they have combined those 2 forms. So we don't have to email you out again for that permission to screen form. It's the same thing. You'll see the difference. The great thing about this is you get to prefer, like your preferred language is what the form will appear in. The forms are also located on the website, but I just love that. I also have paper copies here. There's paper copies in the office as well. And make sure to hit that submit button. I can see on my end if you have submitted. So if you're like me and you get a little worried, like, did I submit it? Did I do it right? Email me and I can look that up for you. And again, you do not need to resubmit a referral if your child has already been identified. And then this is the timeline for services. This is for all of ACPS, not just secondary. So all referrals are due November 21st, and then you will be notified by March 13th of their eligibility. And if you're new to ACPS, we do a little fast track. But if you're new and you missed that, please fill out a referral. Acceleration. This comes from the ACPS website, the AAS section. Acceleration, the policy still exists. That did not go away. I know there was some concerns. I won't read it to you, but it's there and it is on the ACPS website. If you have questions, there's the link or you can email me. And then a request for families new to ACPS. You should make your referral for acceleration by the end of first quarter or 3 weeks into second quarter. So that is kind of creeping up. If you are not new to ACPS, your referral needs to be in by April 15th. And the placement would be for the following school year. And you would be emailing Rochelle Garillo, who is our AAS secondary instructional specialist. And again, this information's on the website as well.
When you're saying acceleration, do you mean that they could be in like now that the sixth graders aren't allowed to be in seventh grade math, that they could be in seventh grade math?
That could be a possibility. Also, a new itinerant teacher for AAS services has been hired. They will be at George Washington Middle School 2 days a week. They'll be at Hammond for 2 days. And then they will rotate every other Friday between Patrick Henry and Jefferson Houston. Their focus is they will be pushing into Math 6 honors classes. And to build capacity for Tier 1 teaching and scaffolding. Yep.
So math is historically the most overserved SAA area relative to other SAA areas. So wouldn't it be more equitable to allocate this new teacher's hours in our building to serving the SAA students who have not received any services for years?
This is just information I'm presenting to the PTA. I had nothing to do with the hiring. Next. And then these are some of the resources from the AAS office that have been provided not only to Math 6, but to support math. And then we have resources for science, social studies, and language arts that have been provided in past years. We're very good in communicating with our instructional specialists to help support our teachers in differentiating our curriculum. And here's my contact information. Please, please, please reach out if you have any questions. And that is it for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stacey. All right, parents and guardian, that was Stacey Palmer doing an overview of advanced academic services at George Washington Middle School. There's a lot of information. Utilize the website, and you can always reach out to the PTA to help you navigate information and where you need it and when you need it. All right, Chris. I believe the next item that we have is the winner for the 8th grade t-shirt? Okay, so, our VP of fundraising, Nikki McCleary, ran the 8th grade t-shirt contest. There were 47% of the either 8th graders or the school participated in voting. And so the winner is. Next one. Isaac Wardian. And so congratulations, Isaac. I'm sure your parents will like that as well. And what is the winning 8th grade t-shirt design? And Chris is going to pull that up. And here is the winning design for the 8th grade t-shirt. So that's the design that the 8th graders can purchase. Hopefully we'll have that in t-shirts as well as sweatshirts. But we'll get that information to you later. So I hope everyone likes the design. I like it. It's pretty cool. It's really good. All right. So Isaac, thank you for putting forth this information. And as always, the PTA, we are here for help. And that is my email address. You can reach out to me, but you can also reach out to any of the other PTA members as well to help you navigate middle school. Are there any questions online?
Kelly, any questions online that we're missing here?
Nope, we had a couple that came up that have been dealt with during the presentations, and so we're all good. Thanks, everybody.
Are we good? All right. So that concludes our October PTA meeting, and not bad. We went from last time 29 minutes to 40 minutes. No, we started a little bit late. So 34 minutes. So parents, we hope to see you here in person. We try and get as much information to you in as easiest way as possible. So hopefully we'll see you here in November. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give you new, I think some of the